Hey yo, what is going on, Empire? Welcome back to another daily analysis here with DTA. Shout out to everybody that's on the DTA Army, man. For those of you who don't know, DTA is an acronym for Desire to Achieve, and what some of the Reddit community has also termed down to AMP, because that's what it all comes down to. Especially, if we want to bring crypto to the masses on a global scale, allowing anybody to spend any crypto that they want in any store with any merchant. And that's exactly what Flexa and AMP facilitates. So it all comes down to AMP. So let's hop right into today's daily analysis. I have some really, interesting content for you guys today. So taking a look at AMP on CoinGecko.com, we can see that currently we are up 9.9%. So we did manage to, form support at the 0.038 level, which we called a few weeks ago. And we actually managed to, bounce back up, now currently floating at the 0.043 range. Now, if this does continue, I suspect us to, go up to reach the 0.046 level. That's exactly where we saw initially a lot of resistance. So, that's what we have going on today, looking at CoinGecko and hopping right over to Etherscan. We can see that again, we have more holders in the AMP army, right? So we're actually almost at 28,000 holders. I expect us to be there, sometime before the weekend, honestly, the rate that, accumulation has been going on for AMP. We see about at least 200 new holders on a daily basis with AMP, right? And that's pretty good. That's pretty significant. This accumulation zone has been happening for quite some time, and even through the slight market dips, the accumulation has steadily continued. So that's what we have going on with Etherscan, and what you all been waiting for, hopping right into the charts. So taking a look at today's weekly chart, we can see that we have a long wick at the bottom of this trading week. Now, although this trading week isn't over, this is still a good sign to see, right? We actually want to see this long wick at the bottom. This is letting us know that the bulls are present. Now, if we can manage to get above the fib 0.786, I think that we'll be in good shape to, push back up to the next fib extension level, which is the fib 0.618. And that will place us right at 6 cents. So ultimately, we do want to close above this fib extension level that we're currently sitting below. And, I think that we have a catalyst today that could move the entire crypto market. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's what we have going on for the weekly chart. Hopping right into the daily, right? Again, we can kind of see this playing out exactly to, how we expected it to. So we did call the initial support at the 0.038 level, which, played out exactly to the T. We had this doji here. We tried to come up and retest the fib extension level, the fib 0.786. We got rejected hard. We saw a big sell off right here. Probably an institutional move, or a big player, maybe a whale. Could be an individual. It could be an entity. We don't know for certain, but we did see that we closed yesterday's daily candle with the doji, right? And we closed right on our support line at the 0.039 level, right? So this was pretty good, and this is what we wanted to see. And today we saw, well, we're still seeing, this huge buying pressure from the bulls. And if you look at the buying volume for today, we're seeing buying volume of close to 22 million, right? If we can hold that momentum, I think that we will be in pretty good shape. But, again, just to remind everybody, when we see, let me remove that and turn my magnet off. But when we see moves like this, these V-shaped recoveries, right? Those are, indicators of continuation. So, we were going down, right? We were going down initially. And when we get V-shaped recoveries like this, that is a retracement. That is letting us know that we will continue to move further down. If we see another V-shaped recovery like this, that's another retracement. and an indicator that we will continue to move down, right? So I just want to caution everybody to, again, to control your emotions in the short term. Yes, we are up right now, but these V-shaped recoveries aren't often the best. Now, in the case that we do, make a V-shaped recovery and get above the Fib 786, this extension level, that will be a good thing, right? But the one thing that we want to watch out for is to make sure that we can stay above the Fib extension level, right? So once we blow past it, or when, because eventually we know that we will, when we blow past it, the key thing that we want to watch out for is that we form support at that fib extension level, right? We want support at the 0.046 level because we know that's where our resistance zone is, right? So we want to retest this, we want to form support so that way we can continue to move up in a healthy way, right? So that's what we have going on for the daily. And last but not least, hopping into the 4 hour, we can see that, we managed to get above this resistance line that was holding us down, right? This resistance was kicking in at the 0.042 level, and we managed to, blow right past it. So we are looking to retest our previous resistance zone that was above that one. That will place us right at the 0.046 level. And if we can get above that, then, it's liable that we may see something like this where we retest, this lower resistance zone at the 0.045 level before going up and retesting the 0.046 before making our move up, right? So that is what could possibly happen. And also, just sort of drawing out, these zones that we see, right, where support is initially forming. Um, we can see that it looks pretty interesting, right? So we are getting continuous lower highs and continuous lower lows, right? So we have a low, a lower low, we have a lower high, and a lower low right here, right? But again, we are moving up. We're looking to retest this lower high, and if we can get above this lower high to form a higher high, right, that would be healthy. So that's what we have going on for amps on the charts from a TA perspective. But let's hop into Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin really quick, right? We have a lot of green on the markets today, and again, this is normal for a retracement, right? Um, don't get fooled hopping into the retracement when we know what the overall trend is, right? Retracements and trends are not the same. And we talked about that earlier in today's segment. So, looking at Bitcoin, we called this descending triangle yesterday, and if we wanted to measure this move out to see, where we could possibly end up, all we would have to do is go into our charts, click on price range, look at where this the opening of the triangle started, come down to the base, and then we're going to move that measure move to the apex of it. And that will place us right at around 21K, right? So if we did see a fall or breakdown for Bitcoin, right? Just measuring this move out based on this descending triangle, we would possibly see a low of around 21,800 or 21,700, right? This is where Bitcoin could possibly fall down to if this descending triangle plays out to the T. Now, we know that there are some things happening, specifically today, and it could be, the one thing that Bitcoin and the entire crypto market needs, right? And that I would get into just in just a quick second. So, again, we did fall below our support line with Bitcoin, and we did manage to bounce up a little bit, right? So we closed yesterday at $29,786. And anytime we see these sharp moves to the downside, the market is automatically going to have a reaction, right? And that's what these retracements are. People buying the dips, or institutions buying the dips, or entities buying the dips, right? And that's why we see today's daily candle sort of reacting to that, right? That was a prime buying opportunity. So we know that folks are accumulating, right? But more importantly, what's happening today? Well, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and that is the B word, sponsored by the Crypto Council for Innovation, Jack Dorsey Square, and Kathy Woods, ARK Invest. Now, for those of you who managed to navigate to this website earlier in time, we did see the sponsors right up here, right? We saw the sponsors in this, upper header area. But, today it's a little different. I don't know why, but, it's a little different. The sponsors aren't right on top anymore. But this conference, this webinar, it is happening today. And one of the things that I do expect to happen is that, I think that the Crypto Council for Innovation will ultimately speak on where miners have migrated and how they're mining today, right? Before Elon Musk made a tweet about, Bitcoin is very energy intensive, right? And sort of compromises our environment from, the mining mechanisms used, and that Tesla won't be buying any more Bitcoin until Bitcoin is using at least 50% of renewable energy to mine. Bitcoin was doing just fine. But I think that in today's conference for this webinar, we'll actually see or get some type of insight, or possibly a report from all of the sponsors, including Jack Dorsey, Kathy Woods, and the Crypto Council for Innovation, about how miners are currently moving towards renewable sources of energy to mine Bitcoin, right? And I think that may be the catalyst that the entire crypto market needs, right? So this will be pretty interesting to see, and it's happening today at 9 a.m. Pacific, or 12 p.m. Eastern time, right? So definitely one thing to pay attention to. And I think that, based on what happens with this conference, that could give us a sort of a macro outlook for what potentially could be happening for the rest of the summer, for the entire crypto market. And also where the crypto market is moving towards, especially with miners, who we all know are needed in this space. So that's what I have for you guys today. And again, just keep an eye out for what news is going to break from this conference, and also how that is relating to what's happening on the charts, because we all know that the news impacts the charts and vice versa. So I'm super bullish on this conference. I don't expect them to report anything bad, especially since we all know Jack Dorsey is running his own Bitcoin Lightning node. Tesla plans to, buy Bitcoin and accept Bitcoin more for payments. And Kathy Wood, she is an innovation guru. She has an entire portfolio on her website, based on innovative disruption. And she is a heavy investor in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So these speakers, they have no reason to be bearish or to spread FUD about the crypto market, because they're so heavily invested into it. So I expect all good things to happen from this conference. So that's what I have for you guys today. Don't forget, if you like this content, to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until tomorrow, DTA is out.